Good morning. Good morning. Happy Thursday or Wednesday, everybody. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome in. Hopefully you guys are having a good day. We've got a little over 24 hours until football. Tomorrow night, Hall of Fame game. I'm pretty excited. I told you guys yesterday, so if you guys missed it, I told you yesterday, tomorrow's stream will be in the afternoon, probably around 3:30. And then we will break down the Hall of Fame game, talk some DFS plays if you guys want to dabble in the DFS streets tomorrow night. I might have a bet. I might not. I don't know. It's kind of contingent. Just the more I look into things, I'm not going to go into it. Hall of Fame game don't count. Actually, it does count because it's fun to bet on. But I don't know. Last year we hit that like 12-1 or 13-1. I think we had Browns first half, Jets full game, or the reverse. I don't remember who won the game, but we hit the first half full time, like a 13-1 winner. So I don't know. We'll talk about that tomorrow in the afternoon. We've been on fire in baseball. Went 3-1 again yesterday with the picks that we gave out. So baseball's been pretty good this week. We've got golf this week. I told you guys yesterday we'd do golf picks today. But I haven't taken anything. There was a couple guys I wrote down, but I just haven't had time to look at this. So we will. Tell me more about Browns under 5.5 wins. Yeah, like I said, I'll have a blog out. We'll do a full NFL future stream, but that is looking like that's going to be it's going to be a big play for me, I think. I just think they're going to be terrible. They first of all, they were terrible last year. With the whole, quarterback uncertainty. And the offense was quite literally the worst in the NFL, 32nd out of 32 teams. And then this year, it's like, what did they do to improve the offense, right? They have Joe Flacco back at quarterback, who I believe is going to start the season. But the Browns are very clearly in evaluation mode, I think. Jim, good morning. They're in evaluation mode because they drafted 2 quarterbacks this year, one in the 3rd round being Dillon Gabriel and one in the 5th round being Shedeur Sanders. And they have 2 first-round picks in the 2026 NFL draft. So I honestly, like I said, believe Joe Flacco will start the season as the Browns quarterback. How long he lasts, I can't answer that because there's going to get up they're going to get to a point in the season where they don't care about Joe Flacco and they care about figuring out if Dillon Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders is their quarterback, because they're going to be in a position in the next draft to draft somebody high up. So they're going to need to figure that out. And on top of that, like I said, they really didn't do anything to improve the offense, in my opinion. It's essentially the same offense that they had last season, other than they don't have Nick Chubb anymore. They drafted 2 running backs, one of which Quinshon Judkins he hasn't even signed yet. He's in legal trouble. We don't even know if he's playing. I like Dylan Sampson, but I don't expect the offense to be leaps and bounds better than it was last year. I do think they'll benefit from the play calling because last year they had Ken Dorsey calling plays, and it was a weird situation. So I think the play calling will be a little bit better going back to that Kevin Stefanski 12 personnel offense. They drafted a tight end I like a lot, but I just don't think the team is going to be very good. The defense it was good last year, but when the defense is on the field the entire game, that hurts. And they just lost Martin Emerson Jr. yesterday, who is arguably their best corner. So, he's out. And then their schedule is just completely brutal. The Cleveland Browns this year have one of the toughest schedule spots I have ever seen in my time of doing this for the last 7 or 8 years. The Cleveland Browns, listen to this stretch that they have to do. First of all, their schedule is just a nightmare anyways. They start the season Cincinnati, Baltimore, Green Bay. This is how they start the season. Bengals, loss. Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore, loss. Green Bay Packers, that's probably a loss. Then after that, so I have them starting 0-3. Then this is their schedule after that. They go at Detroit, that's a loss. Then they fly to Ireland to play Minnesota, Minnesota has back-to-back European games. So Minnesota's already going to be overseas, adjusted to the time. The Browns have to play at Detroit and then fly to Europe and play Minnesota, who's already been there. That's a loss. And then they have to fly home. They don't get a bye week after the European game. They fly home and they play at Pittsburgh. And I don't even know when they play. The last time the Browns won at Pittsburgh, I think I was like 4 years old. I don't even know. So I don't even think they're going to win a game until at minimum the middle of October. I don't see how they win any of these games to start out. I think they're going to at least start like 0-7, and then we'll go from there. Maybe they can pick up some other wins, but I don't know. I don't have any faith in this team. What quarterback they're tossing? They're going to get rid of Kenny Pickett, I think. I don't know. Andrew Berry said he wants to keep 4 quarterbacks. I don't really see how that's possible. But if one of them goes, I think it'd be Kenny Pickett. He got hurt recently with a hamstring or whatever, but I think ideally for the Browns, quarterbacks get hurt in camp and they can send him somewhere for like a 6th round pick or a 7th round pick. I think that would be like ideal. But it'll probably be Flacco and the 2 rookies, and then we go from there. But yeah, that schedule is just a nightmare. And then after Pittsburgh, it's Miami. They could beat Miami at home, maybe. I don't know. That's October 19th. And then they play at New England. I don't know. Maybe. And then they have a bye week at the Jets. That could be a win. Home against Baltimore, maybe. I mean, the Browns do split these divisional games a lot, but I don't have any faith in them to do that this year. At Las Vegas, that could be a win, but they played at I thought they played at Vegas last year and they got destroyed. Let me see. Maybe I'm misremembering that. Yeah, they did. They played at Las Vegas last year, and they did lose. They didn't get destroyed, but they lost the game. And then they play home against the Niners. It's probably a loss. Home against the Titans. I kind of like the Titans this year. I think the Titans are a sleeper team. So, I mean, that could be a loss. At Chicago, loss. It could be a win, could be a loss. Home against Buffalo, loss. Home against Pittsburgh, I don't know. And then I don't know about week 18. They played the Bengals. Or the Bengals, I have no idea. But at minimum, if we take this, let me confirm that this number is 5.5, because it was weeks ago when I looked at it, but I don't know. I haven't checked. Yes, it's -160, under 5.5. So this is probably what I'm going to play, and this is going to be like a 5. This is going to be like a 5, 6, 7 unit play, I think, because at minimum, these odds are going to be drastically different if this team starts 0-7, like I think, or 0-6. Like I think at minimum we're getting an 0-6 start right here. So I mean we're going to get a lot different odds on it. So this is probably going to be a big play for me. I don't really bet win totals that often. You guys know that, because it's just, I don't think it's advantageous to tie up money for 6 months. I'd rather use that money on daily fantasy or whatever. But for this specific, I do feel pretty good about it. And so this will probably be a big bet. I do like some teams to make the playoffs. We'll talk about this when we get into the full stream of it. But there's some plus money teams that I think can get in the playoffs. First and foremost, I like Atlanta this year. I like Carolina. I think Carolina and Atlanta have a good chance to be the surprise team. And then honestly, like I said, the Titans, this was plus 410. When I looked at this last week, it's come down a little bit to plus 350. I think the Titans could surprise some people. I do. And I'm a big Cam Ward fan. So I think they have a quarterback. They completely changed their offensive line, and the offensive line was really bad last year. But Bill Callahan is one of the best offensive line coaches of all time. So, having him, Brian Callahan, we'll see. I'm confident Bill Callahan can get their offensive line rolling, and I like the moves they made there. So I think the offensive line is going to be way better. The quarterback situation is going to be night and day better. Now, the skill position, it's still lacking a little bit for me. The running back room is good. Tony Pollard, Ty J. Spears, those guys are good. The quarterback, the wide receivers, still, there's a little bit to be desired here. Calvin Ridley is fine. Tyler Lockett is fine. They're going to need one of Io Manor or DK to step up. They're two rookies. One of those guys needs to take a leap and ascend, and then I'd feel pretty good about it. But overall, I think Titans could surprise some people this year. So those are three just teams to make the playoffs that look a little interesting. Super Bowl futures, I don't know. I think Packers, honestly, Vikings and Packers interest me at above 20-1 numbers because we kind of know it's hard to take these AFC futures because we pretty much know. I'll go out on a limb and say we know it's going to be Baltimore, Buffalo, Kansas City. It's going to be one of those three teams that make the Super Bowl, and they're all below 10-1. So KC at 8-1, just because I'm getting the best odds of any of those three that we know are going to be there at the end. That would probably be my pick if I was going to take an AFC team. If there was any other team to ascend and get into the mix with that big three in the AFC, it would be Denver for me. And I think it's interesting that Denver is below Cincy and below the Chargers. Why is Denver below Cincy? Cincinnati is not. I don't know. And Houston, so the big three: Baltimore, Buffalo, Kansas City. They're going to be there at the end of the season. It's going to be one of those three teams in the Super Bowl. If I had to pick another team, I would probably pick Denver, to be honest with you. But the NFC is a little bit more open. Obviously, you guys know I love the Eagles. Won the Super Bowl last year. It's hard to repeat. It's hard to run pure. They lost a lot of depth on the defensive side, so I still think their defense is going to be one of the best units in the entire NFL. It's great. But they lost a lot of depth. So if they get some injuries, it's going to be tougher for them to overcome that this year as opposed to last year. So that's something to keep in mind. And it's just hard in general to repeat. That's why they won the Super Bowl last year, but they're not the odds-on favorite to win. So I think it's going to be a little bit easier to potentially get a team into the Super Bowl from the NFC side. I'm not as in on Detroit, man. I don't know. I want to see what happens with them. Losing both coordinators, I think, is a big hit. I don't really care much about losing Aaron Glenn, to be honest. I think he's overrated. I don't think he was that good of a defensive coordinator as it is. But Ben Johnson, we know, was a top-of-the-line offensive coordinator. And can they maintain a similar level of production without him offensively? I don't know. And do you trust Jared Goff in a must-win game? I don't know. Jared Goff's went to a Super Bowl on the Rams, but his postseason performances on the Lions thus far hasn't been that great. I mean, I think he played pretty good that first year, 2 years ago when they went and they lost to the Niners. I think they played pretty good. But last year, I didn't think, and you guys will remember this, I didn't think the Lions had any chance to do anything last year because of how banged up they were defensively. But I don't think Jared Goff played good in that game against Washington. So I don't know. I like the Rams. It's kind of like the last ride for Matt Stafford, I think. And their defense is very good. He's got weapons. Puka, Devontae Adams. I don't know. I would say, honestly, I might take a shot on just the 3 NFC teams here, that being Rams, Vikings, Packers, and I'm just gonna take my stance of fading the top, that being the Eagles. And I won't be surprised if the Eagles get back to the Super Bowl. That's not what I'm saying. But at 750, at this number, I'd rather just take the Chiefs. If I'm going to take a below 10-1 future for a Super Bowl, I'd rather just take the Chiefs of any of these guys. So if I'm going to fade the top of the NFC, there's just less competition in the NFC. It's basically the Eagles and then everyone else for me, because I don't have the Lions on that same level as the Eagles. The AFC, I have the Ravens, Bills, and Chiefs all on the same level. So we're talking about 3 teams that can win. The NFC, it's a little more open. So I may take a shot, and we're getting way better numbers. Like a 17, a 21, and a 22. If one of them gets us into the game, I mean, we're looking pretty good. So I might fire on those 3 NFCs, to be honest. Vikings and Packers are the ones I really like, to be honest. I really like both those teams this year. But I'll have to think about it. I could see myself doing that, though. For Super Bowl, probably taking those 3. Playoffs, I love the Falcons to make the playoffs at this number. This is going to be a big bet for me. This is probably a 2 or 3 unit. And then smaller bets on Panthers and Titans. Win total, I'll probably only take the Browns under. I just don't bet win totals a lot. Dewan, what's up? Yeah, Commanders could get in there too, Dewan. I'm not going to bet them personally, just because I guess they're right in that range at 18-1 too. I wouldn't, man, that's just tough. I think they're firmly in that mix too. I would prefer the Rams to them. And I definitely would prefer Vikings, Packers, but they're right in that mix. I would not be shocked if the Commanders took that leap. I guess it's just you're just betting on, Jaden Daniels not experiencing the kind of sophomore slump that CJ Stroud had last year. But I think Jaden Daniels is in a much better spot to not experience that because the team is just so significantly better. He doesn't have as the worst offensive line in football. The defense is good. The Texans have a good defense. The Commanders have a good defense. So, yeah, I could see the Commanders getting in there, but let me see. Early look for some of these awards. Offensive Rookie of the Year stacked this year because I think Genty is going to be crazy. Hampton is going to be crazy. I think Ibuka is going to go crazy. Travion Henderson could go crazy in that Josh McDaniels offense. T-Mac, Tedero McMillan could go crazy. Cam Ward, if he leads the Titans to the playoffs, I have a hard time imagining him not winning Offensive Rookie of the Year. So I don't know. This award is just stacked this year. I don't know if I'll take any shots on that award personally. Defensive Player of the Year. Haven't put much thought into it, honestly. Offensive Player of the Year, I have put some thought in here. So I think Nico is one of my favorites. I think Puka. I think CeeDee Lamb. Those 3. And then a long shot on like a Drake London. If the Falcons are as good as I think they're going to be, and Drake London coming off a 100 catch, 1,200 yard season, he takes another step forward. Michael Penix ascends into like what we think he could be. I mean, Drake London at 40-1 gets you a little bit excited there. So I'll probably take some shots on some receivers there. Comeback Player of the Year. I don't know. I don't know. I don't like betting on that because of like the technicalities with the stipulations on the award and stuff. I do like this is a little sneaky one. I was gonna tweet this out a few weeks ago, but this is a little sneaky. Dude, they don't even have him on here. I'm gonna have to go on DraftKings. They don't even have him listed, the guy that I want to bet in this market. All right, stand by. Let me find this on DraftKings. Yeah, Debo could have a resurgence this year. The one I think Debo is a great fantasy pick where he currently gets drafted. I'll be talking about him in my big article. I think Debo is a great value this year. Let me see. Does DraftKings even have this guy? Milestones. Where is this at on DraftKings? Oh, stat leaders. Okay. Rushing touchdowns. Let me see if they have them. Oh my god, it got cut in half, bro. Damn. I should have bet this. I was gonna tweet this out a few weeks ago. It was like 90 to 1. Now it's 50 to 1. I'm still gonna bet it, but damn. Okay, so I'm just gonna give this out now since I don't know this number got chopped, but most regular season rushing touchdowns, Jordan Mason at 50 to 1. If you guys notice, I did those drafts a few weeks ago. This is like when I was looking at this. I think it was 2 weeks ago I did those drafts, those 17 team drafts. I took Jordan Mason on both of those teams. Jordan Mason is I might have talked about this on stream. I don't remember, but it's down to 50 to 1 on DraftKings. I don't see him on this list on FanDuel. Like I would like to get better odds, but FanDuel doesn't even have him. Why can I bet on Austin Eckler for this, but I can't bet on Jordan Mason? I don't even know. Anyways, Jordan Mason, most regular season rushing touchdowns this year, I think is a great pick for the odds that it's at. We know that the Vikings offense is going to be insane. We know that they're going to score a lot of touchdowns. And Aaron Jones was really inefficient last year in the red zone, specifically converting in the red zone. So I think there's a very, very good chance that Jordan Mason steps in and is the goal line back right away, starting at the beginning of the season. There's been multiple reports come out in the last few days now, even that it's going to be a split workload between Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason. So I think there's a very, very real chance Jordan Mason is a red zone threat week 1. And he is on a great offense that's going to score a lot of touchdowns. And man, I think there's definitely a chance he could be in the mix for this award. I mean, it's 50 to 1 for a reason. It was like 100 to 1. I don't understand why this came down so much. But yeah, Jordan Mason, Jordan Mason has better odds for this than Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones was at 100 to 1 on DraftKings. Jordan Mason's at 50 to 1. So Jordan Mason, most regular season rushing touchdowns, that is going to be on my futures card for sure. I'll probably do a parlay of teams to make the playoffs. What is this? Steve will be jumping in here soon too. So whenever he gets in here, I'll add him in. But so teams to make the playoffs, like Chiefs are not missing the playoffs, dude. I'm sorry. So like they would go in there for me. And looking at like these NFC teams, I don't really see. Ideally, I like to pick like 3 teams. I think the Packers are going to make the playoffs, and I think the Vikings. So maybe like Chiefs, Packers, Vikings. Or if we don't want to do two teams from the same division, we could do Chiefs. We could just do Chiefs, Eagles, Rams even. I mean, that's getting you plus 177. Something like this for a couple units just to have some fun. I'd like to do something like that. And then maybe some fun too on like these props or something. We could cook something up here. Oh, I think Steve is here. Let's see. Steve, how's it going? We're talking a little NFL futures at the moment.
Nice. Love to hear it now that I'm a futures expert.
Yeah, now that you've done the FSGA futures draft, you're kind of ingrained now. You're gonna start thinking about it. Like you're not even gonna notice it, but you're just be watching a game and it's gonna hit you like, oh my god, that would be a good bet for the FSGA futures league or something. It's just gonna start coming to you naturally now.
So I did, and I'm not a futures guy. For most people that know, actually probably don't know because I probably never shared it on here. I'm a big believer in short-term bets and rolling the money as opposed to tying something up for a long time. So I rarely ever place a futures bet. But after I kind of had a good time, I think during the futures bet, and I do like the idea of like the big payoff. You put a little bit down on a long shot, you think you see something, and you get the big payoff. So I did go out and I placed a request for a futures bet on Bet Openly because I'm starting to play a little bit more with the exchanges as opposed to the sport books. And I just, losing 10% on every bet, especially if you go through a little bit of a dry spell, it can hurt. If you're winning, you're laughing. It doesn't really matter. But when you're losing, it hurts more. So MLB, I've not done well this year, but I went out and placed a futures bet on the Toronto Blue Jays to win the World Series.
Oh yeah, I was waiting for. We're gonna talk baseball for sure today. So yeah,
At plus
how did I know
1,400.
you were gonna say that?
Yeah. Which I still think is like really considering that they're, I think they've lost twice or three times, so they probably dropped. I haven't looked at the standings, but considering that they were at the top of the MLB standings, I thought plus 1,400 was pretty good for the Jays. So
Yeah, well, so I guess my thoughts on that in general. If we're gonna switch over, I'll pull up the World Series odds, but like my stance on this, I was thinking about this the other day. The Dodgers are so just overwhelming favorites, right? Like the Dodgers are going to be massive favorites in a World Series. Like assuming the Dodgers make the World Series in the series against whatever AL team they play, they're going to be massive favorites. But that being said, the Yankees went to the World Series last year representing the American League, and they are not the same Yankees team whatsoever. They don't have Garrett Cole. Aaron Judge now is banged up. They haven't been playing particularly well. So I would be willing to almost remove them. I think you can remove them anyways without Garrett Cole because he's their like heart and soul of their pitching staff, and they rely on him so heavily. If we take the
yeah,
Yankees out of the mix, it's almost like a situation that I see in the Eastern Conference for basketball next year where any of these teams can make it. I mean, you have the Houston Astros who are kind of like the older team that still has some guys that have experience. And if I was picking someone from the AL right now to go to the World Series, I'd probably pick Houston. But they can make it. Detroit is unproven. Toronto's unproven. Like any of these teams from the AL, if we take the Yankees out, any of them can get in the World Series. Like I would not be shocked if the Blue Jays made it to the World Series. I don't know if I would pick them to win the series, but I wouldn't be surprised if they made it there.
I'm a homer, so take it for what it's worth. But and they just lost twice against the Orioles, and they play them again twice today. And the Orioles haven't been very good, but maybe they've awoken a beast. I don't know. But they just look like a team that can rally. Like they look like a team that like are gritty, that bunt when they have to, no ego amigo. Like, I don't know. I'm loving this Jays team. And um, I think that it's funny too, because Bassett, I think he's been the worst of the starters. Maybe except for like the rotational fifth guy. And he still has 11 wins. It's crazy because he hasn't been very good. So
Yeah.
you get down to three pitchers, maybe he's your fourth, maybe I don't know, Scherzer has been great, so maybe, but I don't know. It seemed like such a gritty team, and that the chemistry is flowing, and I don't know, they're not making the same base running mistakes, and Schneider's making smarter decisions, and I feel like you said, like any one of these teams could win. Like I look at the Dodgers, I'm like, sure, obviously they got more talent, but like you get in there with a gritty squad. I don't know if they win. I don't know if they win if Freddie Freeman doesn't hit that home run.
Yeah, well, honestly, the Blue Jays remind me of the Guardians last year who went to the ALCS, but it's like they're I don't think their bullpen is quite as good as the Guardians was last year because the Guardians bullpen last year was firing on all cylinders. Like they had prime
Yes.
Clase, so I don't think the bullpen is quite as good. But the trade-off is the Blue Jays offense is more intimidating to me than the Guardians offense
Yes.
was last year. Like they had Jose Ramirez, and like Steven Kwan at the top of the lineup, but the Blue Jays have more impactful bats than the Guardians did last year. But I think the construct of the team is very similar, and we just saw a team like that make it to the ALCS. So I could see the Blue Jays making a run. I'm not lying.
Well, so very unique moment yesterday. Uh, Dominguez for the Orioles walked across between doubleheaders. Also hilarious, maybe not hilarious because this is a human being's work performance, that Chad Green optioned in between games
Yeah, that's
after being
crazy.
absolutely shelled. I was
Yeah,
like,
that's
that is the
crazy.
ultimate demotion.
That really is. That really is.
They're like, Chad, we don't need you this evening. We're going to need you to free up your locker. There's a guy coming across from the other team that it's going to be taking your seat. Yeah, that's mean. Hey, sports is cruel. Sports is cruel. But I don't know. I think the Phillies could win. I like the Tigers, even though the Jays just beat them up real good. Um, Mets. I don't like the Yankees. I don't think they've got much. They don't have much chemistry. They seem like a team that's turning on itself. Astros, maybe. Brewers. I'm up on the Brewers, up on the Cubs. Red Sox are storming back. They could be the one that I'm probably most worried about for the Jays. Um,
I thought
they
it was
start getting
funny, like all the
deeper there.
Yankee fans that all the just uninformed like Yankee fans that were making fun of Boston for trading Rafi Devers. Like that
Yeah,
was just a telltale sign of you have no idea what you're talking about if you were like making fun of that. Because what like I'm as independent. I'm not a fan of any of these teams, but like I thought that was a good trade for Boston. Just in the I don't know about the package they got back, but just in like clearly there was issues going on in the locker room
yeah,
and stuff. Like just eliminated. I don't understand like why people thought that was a bad trade for the Red Sox. And then I mean Devers really hasn't played that great since he got traded. So I just thought that was funny.
yeah. I
Yankees
completely agree.
fans are like I would say, well, it's not even Yankees fans, it's just like the average casual baseball fan. I just don't really think knows anything. People that watch this stream, they know though, they're informed. They're much smarter
Yeah.
than those people.
No, we got a smart audience here. These are people in the know, not the people who are just watching Sports Center and
Yeah.
reading their local newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I also want to throw something on the baseball docket.
Yeah, well, we have trade
Is
deadline
we got
tomorrow.
we got trade deadline. We also got to resurrect Ben Hossel Rolling Insights fantasy
Yeah,
team. You are
I know.
plummeting.
I know. It's just bad, man. It's just bad when the pitching just gone. And I
I
just
think
fall
there's I
apart.
think there's things that we can do. I think there's
It just like really took the wind out of my sails, I'm gonna be honest.
I know I'm here to pump you up. Like lie down on that leather couch. Let's talk through it.
Yeah. That's it's just unfortunate. It's like if I'm gonna lose, like I don't care. Like if I would have like had like it's just I hate when like my guys are like just injured. I'd rather them be healthy and I lose. Like I'll just eat my loss.
Yeah.
But when my
It
team
is
was healthy, I was up in like third place. It's like, sucks.
that's it's sport, especially those deep leagues, there's no trades and it's season long.
It's
But
gonna be
the
carnage in these 17 team football leagues. I mean, it is gonna be absolute carnage.
I was gonna ask, did you ask anyone why they went to 17 teams? Like there's just that much interest in playing? Like why don't they start
I don't
another league
know.
or
I don't know. They should have done 2 leagues. But yeah, I guess maybe like just that's how many people said let's do it and they were like, okay. Like I don't know. It's gonna be carnage, dude. It's gonna be bad.
well, I know the first year when we joined, like we had a limited number of leagues that we could
Yes.
even join. And then
Yeah.
as we obviously been around longer, it's like you get
Yeah.
more invites, but
Well, in the best ball league where you can't make any moves, well, by the time we get to November, there's gonna be teams taking zeros all over the place, I think.
yeah.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
bad.
It's just one last thing on the futures ranking you got here. Our data space that we have for MLB, number one at the top team ranking, Chicago Cubs. For those
I
at
know.
home
I've liked this
looking
Cubs team all season too. I might
so
have
if
to
you're
go.
looking to put a flyer on one plus 1500, ooh,
I don't want to go against the Dodgers. It's just setting up
really?
inevitable pain. Yeah, they're gonna win. It's just like like I know it's baseball, so it's different, but it's like the Cavs used to do this every year, like with LeBron. Like they would be like it'd be like, oh, they got this great team, but they just don't have it this year, man. And then the playoffs come and they just dominate everyone and go back to the finals. If the Dodgers hadn't won last year, I would be more on your side. But they did win, so like I don't have any like qualms that they're not gonna just win. Like just win. I don't know. But the
But
pitching is one thing though. I can understand those concerns.
and, and like they're a great team. They got all the talent. But the thing that is interesting about sports is you got a bunch of guys they won last year. They got to show up at the ballpark. They're driving their Maseratis and living in LA. It's really easy just to slip a little bit, even though you're the most talented team. And in baseball in particular, like playoffs happen fast. Like if you fall asleep for a minute, you're in trouble. So that's why I'm like I don't know. I like the Dodgers are obviously still the favorite, but I think they're beatable this year.
Yeah, I mean we'll see what happens when we get to these. It's gonna be a great time, man. We're gonna be
Yeah.
like I don't know if you like have put much thought to it, but we're gonna get to a point where it's like the last few weeks of the MLB regular season. It's NFL football, it's college football, it's the Ryder Cup, all going on the same like week. I think it's that last weekend in September. It's gonna be glorious.
I was going to say, 'cause when you go one week further, you've got the last week of September is the Ryder Cup, but then you go one week later, NHL starts,
Yeah. The
and
best
then
weekend of the year though is going to be the week of Thanksgiving because of the I don't know if you've seen this, but the college basketball tournaments they're doing this year, like they're doing the ones where you can win NIL money, like in Vegas.
oh,
And
crazy! I didn't know that.
the teams are it's like literally all the best teams. It's going to be a miniature March Madness, and it's not double elimination. I'm pretty sure it's single elim. Like one, it's exactly like the tournament. So that's going to
Yeah,
be going on right into football all day Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So it's going to be great. Hockey, I'm sure, will be going on. Basketball at that point as well.
Yeah, I'm just thinking on the data feed side, we're going to be collecting a lot of data.
It's gonna be.
It's going to be wild.
It's gonna be busy.
Well, it is funny because like this is the period of time where there's like that little bit of a lull. So
Yeah.
we're always trying to get, improvements, stability, new features. We're working on, for anyone listening, working on play-by-play. So the play-by-play input. First one with MLB should be out, I'm hoping this week. We've talked about getting it out this week. It's in testing right now. And um, and then we'll have NFL, and then we'll move through all the sports. So we're getting all that work because once we get to the fall, it's going to be just heads down because we'll still have darts running at that time. We'll still have PGA golf. Maybe some of the ending tournaments, like the lesser participated ones. Like we'll be at 8 sports running in November.
Yeah, and I mean, college basketball and college football are just insane with the amount of.
Maybe it'll be 9 actually, because college basketball will have started, and that'll be the last weekend of college football, right? Because Thanksgiving is the last weekend of.
That's the last week of the regular season, yeah. And then we'll get into that. There'll be like a week off, and then it'll be like the conference championship games, and then like another week or two off, and then it'll go bowl season.
Like that is the only time of the year where we have 9 sports running actually, no, we won't have baseball. So we'll be at 8 sports running.
Yeah, this basketball tournament, November 24th through 27th, Gonzaga, Alabama, Auburn, Baylor, Creighton. I mean, there's literally all the big teams. It's going to be crazy. I think Kansas potentially is in that too. I got to check, but I don't know. Yeah, that's going to be a crazy time on the data side. Oh my God.
It's going to be flown. What do you want to talk about next? Do you want to look at your team, or you just?
Yeah, we can look at my team, and then we can obviously talk trade deadline as well, just fitting with that because it's tomorrow afternoon, and I got some word from my people here in Cleveland that there will be multiple Cleveland Guardians traded before tomorrow.
Really? Who are they saying?
I think Shane Bieber is a 100% will be traded, and he's working his way back. He's in the minor leagues right now, rehab assignments. And I can't believe this, but it sounds like a foregone conclusion that Stephen Kwan will be traded, which is
really.
I think he will command a big a big asking price, but Stephen Kwan is a sizable piece if a playoff team picks him up. He is very, very good.
I think that I think he would be. I was like, would he be a good fit in the Jays? Or are you getting a little bit crowded in that outfield? But he's just the type of player the Jays really love these days. What other team do you think he'd be a good fit on? I don't think they would trade him to the Jays, though.
Well, I'm going to tell you what. The guy that told me that he's getting traded named me 2 teams. Do you want to know who those 2 teams are? Because one of them.
Guess.
Okay, yeah, guess, yes.
New York Mets?
No.
Mm.
I can tell you that one of the teams that was mentioned to me, you just talked about that being the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah, I think the Jays. But where would he fit in the Jays? Like, you got Varsho coming back. Like, he's an upgrade. Santander.
I would say he's a sizable upgrade.
Well, he's an upgrade. Does that
and
mean
he's
that
good
they're
in the
worried?
field too, like very good in the field.
Well, I think he's better in the field than he is even at bat. He's so then that would mean that Nathan Lucas, however you say his name, would be out then.
Yeah, the Dodgers were the second team though. Like I think the odds-on favorite and where I think he's going is
the Dodgers.
The Los Angeles Dodgers. Yes, I do think he is going. I think he will be a Dodger by tomorrow afternoon. And this is hard
be
because I'm not like a diehard Guardians fan, but if this was pre me working with Rolling Insights, but Stephen Kwan is someone that kind of came out of nowhere, a couple years ago, and we were hyping him up in spring training. Like we were talking about him, and I was like, dude, I think this kid's gonna be good. And just someone that we've been big fans of on the stream. So, it sucks to see him get traded, but he's gonna have a great chance to win a World Series if he ends up on the Dodgers. So I don't know.
So who would he replace on the Dodgers? Like who would he? Because they've got four outfielders already.
Yeah, well, I mean, you gotta I know they do weird stuff with the DH and stuff, because of Otani. So that kind of complicates things as well. But I mean, I think he is an upgrade over still. You don't want to take Teoscar Hernandez's bat out of the lineup. But other than that, I would say, I mean, he plays left field. I would say he is an upgrade over Michael Conforto, most definitely.
Well, yeah, but Michael Conforto isn't he the fourth?
Yeah, I get. Well, even if I would say he's an upgrade over Pages as well. But they're not going to take Hernandez out of the lineup, so he's a lock. So they're just going to roll him, Quan, and then some combination of a third outfielder.
Who am I missing in the Teoscar, Pages, Conforto? Who's the fourth one? I just had that.
So my thing would be where he fits in, in this lineup, though.
Okay, well, I just brought them up, and if you can remember the fourth, share my screen, and we can just look at the players because I think this is fascinating.
Oh yeah, share it, and I'll pop it up on the screen.
I don't even see my screen.
Yeah, got you.
Yeah, because according to my ranking, and obviously this isn't focusing on all the numbers and stats.
Yeah. Well, I think it just 1-for-1 he would replace Michael Conforto.
Yeah. Okay. So he'd be the fourth outfielder then.
Yeah.
So what would they pay then? Who am I missing from the Dodgers as an outfielder?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if there's anybody. I mean, Mookie used to, but I mean, he plays short.
Yes,
but he plays shortstop now.
Yeah,
the current
because he'll move in and out, right? That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
of. He's the guy.
Okay.
He's the fourth
So,
that will piston in and out. Yeah.
So they'll probably just Mookie at shorts. The outfield will just be Quan, Hernandez, Pages in center.
Okay, I agree with this then. Conforto out, Quan in, Mookie is your utility guy if needed.
Yeah, and what the lineup is what's interesting to me though, because Mookie has struggled at the plate. So taking some of that off his plate, if you're putting Quan above, because Michael Conforto hits in the middle of the order, he hits sixth, but Stephen Kwan is good enough to hit not sixth. I would want Stephen Kwan getting on base for Shohei Ohtani and those guys. So
yeah.
So that would be an interesting dynamic of how that. I'm assuming I would hit Kwan leadoff, and then you want to go Mookie, Ohtani, Smith, Freeman, those guys after that. I don't know, but yeah, the rich get richer. I mean, seriously.
Okay, I think this makes sense now. Yeah, not good as a Blue Jays fan, but I understand.
Yeah, not good as anyone that wants to bet the Cubs.
Yeah,
it's just so stupid, man. I think it's going to be a big package too. I'm talking I was hearing multiple top prospects.
Well, that's the thing is eventually I know they signed a lot of these guys to free agency, so it cost them a ton in the pipeline, but they don't have. It's not like they've been selling assets to get assets to stock the pipeline. So, do they really have enough attractive pieces compared to? But I guess the Jays don't have a very good pipeline either. So, and the Jays, I don't think are trading anybody from the pipeline. I would be shocked if they deviate from the course too greatly, other than taking on contracts so people don't have to pay for them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, somehow the Dodgers have like the best team, and they still have like I think they're rated like fifth best farm system. I don't understand. It's because they're so good at signing these like international guys. Um,
Yeah.
you know, but yeah. So
Well,
they, I mean,
and they've been able to pay enormous sums of money and
yes,
flex the contract rules.
yeah. Well, so I mean, Dalton Rushing would be the centerpiece of this. He is like a catcher. He's played outfield too, which the Guardians have never. The Guardians in like my entire lifetime have never had a like power hitting outfielder. Like since like Manny Ramirez. I mean, it's hilarious, but uh, I think mainly he's going to play catcher, and they don't have room for him because they have Will Smith, who's relatively young and
Mhm.
one of the best catchers in baseball, and the Guardians have no catcher. I mean, Bo Naylor just it hasn't looked very good. So I think he would be. I think he's like number third, like 28, 29, 30th overall.
Yeah, okay.
So I think he
That
would
that
be in
makes
there,
sense.
and then some other pieces as well. And dude, Emmanuel Clase was getting traded. I can 100% guarantee you this before this. But then this gambling stuff came out, and now he can't get traded. But I think he was going to get traded as well.
Yeah, I dropped him in my other league. I was trying to trade him because I'm not going to make the playoffs. But yeah, it's a shame. I know. I heard you listen. I heard you talking yesterday. The do you think there's going to be more guys that come out like, or a
Yeah,
bunch
I
of
do.
guys just sitting in the wings, just you know,
Because
pooping their
if
pants?
he
Is
like,
there?
it's one thing if Luis Ortiz, who is a relatively unknown pitcher, right? I mean, he's making MLB money, but not really, right? He's a relatively unknown pitcher. So it's one thing for him to get caught doing this. Emmanuel Clase is arguably he's one of the best closers in the league. I mean, the season he had last year is insane.
Yeah,
So if he's
this
doing
year
this,
he's been mediocre, but maybe he's had
yeah.
this on his mind the whole time.
Oh, it could be exactly. Like if he's doing this, then there's others doing this, and then it comes down to like I talked about yesterday. Why are they doing it? You can't convince me that them personally are able to have people get enough money down on a pitch, a singular pitch, when he's making whatever $15 million a year or whatever. Like how are you making enough money off of that? So then the question for me comes to like one, why are they doing it? And two, from a baseball perspective, do you police every pitch thrown in the league?
Yeah. This is why I know I said this on when I was on with betting startups, and I said this previously. I just don't think that single event betting
Well, yeah,
is going to survive.
that's the
For
solution, right? It's just they're not going to have those bets available, or it's going to be like a hard limit of $10, whatever. Like the maximum anyone can bet on a singular pitch is $10 because
Yeah.
you can't cycle through every single pitch thrown in the MLB every night and determine whether there was it's there's no way you can do that.
Well, let's break it down. Like we'll get deep into it. So let's start from the actual mechanics of like serving up that product to a betting audience. So you have to not only, like we obviously know this very well, get the data, then take the data, put it on the API endpoint as the league, and then send it to the sport book so they have to query it. And then you would have to be able to serve that up. So you always need to know the status or the state of the game. That's really hard. It's a lot harder than people think. And to have it synchronized with what's happening on TV and what's happening in real life, et cetera. You could be watching a baseball game. It could be 30 seconds, 45 seconds behind just the way that TV works. And so you're missing the opportunity to participate in any of those bets. So you don't really get scale. You don't get the full audience. So you're going to spend all this money on making this infrastructure as fast as possible. Then you've got to come up with the handle. You got to be able to understand the risk of the money as it's coming down really quickly and serve up competitive quality odds, quality product to your bettors. To do it that fast with that
Yeah.
much variability, that's probably why these people are trying to take advantage of that arbitrage opportunity right now, because they're just guessing. The sport books are just guessing, and it's probably in most cases not in the favor of the actual bettor. But if you've got an inside track on what's going to happen, you can get some pretty good odds on that stuff. And then last but not least is, how do you police it? There's just so many events and so many things going on. It's so much easier to have an anytime touchdown, anytime home run in this particular inning, strikeout in this particular inning, because you've got two sides of the equation that need to participate. You've got time on your side. You don't necessarily need to be doing it synchronously in real time. So I just, in the beginning, I was like, oh man, it's gonna be so cool. You could bet on the next pitch. I just don't even think it's logistically possible in the future.
Well, yeah. So 2 points. One, and this is just baseball we're talking about. Now extrapolate that to tennis, golf. How would you be able to
Football,
police?
like,
Yeah, at least like football, there's so many eyes on it and there's less raw, I guess, plays. Like however many plays are in a game. But like imagine golf. If a bunch of people bet on this guy to miss this fairway on this hole, how would you police that? How would you have any idea? It's golf. Guys miss fairways all the time. There'd be no way to tell. You're not gonna be able to tell if somebody missed a fairway on purpose.
that's one element of it. Again, like, how do you even let people participate in real time without leaving yourself exposed?
Yeah, well, that's what
Like,
my other point was going to be. You weren't at the Chicago conference. I talked about this right after I got back from it, but there was one of the guys, I think they were from Villawood, that I was talking to, and he was telling me how they had a client come to them and basically ask them if what he was doing was legal, and that he was sending people to these games and FaceTiming them and like preloading his bet slip with like $10,000 bets. And as soon as on FaceTime, as he saw it live, as soon as there was like a home run hit, he would bet it for 10,000, and he was ahead of the sports books, and he would win these bets.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like, that's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. This there early on, they didn't end up using our data, because we're a medium latency company. So it takes us about 30 seconds to get the data and get it out anyways. We're not, you know, uh, uh, low latency like the official data providers. But it still takes 10 seconds, 12 seconds, 15 seconds for the data to flow through into the sport book. So if you've got someone who's in real life doing it in stadium, and so there was all this talk about, okay, well, maybe there'll be in stadium betting. That's next event, but you don't get scale at that because you only have 20,000, 40,000, 50,000, 60,000 people, and not everybody's going to be betting. You're going to have 6,000 people betting, 12,000. So I don't think that there's, and if you're doing that, like if you're doing what that person just described, there's no way that they're going to not limit you or ban you
Yeah,
from the
well,
sport.
from what he was saying, it's like there's a lot of people doing this. It's not just this one guy. This one guy just reached out to them and was like, "Hey, is this legal? Like what I'm doing?" But I
I,
think there's a lot of people doing this making money from what he was telling me,
I'm
which is
sure
insane.
there are, but the moment they start making money at scale on that type of action, they're going to get limited and banned. They'll get limited first, and then they'll get banned.
See, my
And you
wonder
can't.
though is if they use what if they go offshore though and they're using like crypto or something? Like I don't know if you would get banned.
They could go to Asia, and um, Asia might be okay with it. Asia, like, again, Asia can't. Like, sometimes Asia won't limit and ban, and I don't really know. This is what I hear as well, but I'm sure everyone else hears the same thing because they use the smart money, the sharp money to help set the lines. But on those like next event props, it happens so fast you can't use that as sharp money. You're just losing. But eventually, I think that they will
Yeah.
figure it out and they will block those or limit you or whatever. And you can't use the betting exchanges because you can't get the other side to agree to the bet fast enough.
Yeah.
So I don't think that you'd be on an exchange. And I'm bullish on exchanges right now because I just think that a 1%, 2% rake is going to be the future, especially when you get more people on it, and all bets are being kind of instantly consummated.
Mhm.
Um, So I don't know. I think that there's probably a very short window here where you can do that and make some money. But
Yeah,
I
that's not going to be a long term thing. I
no,
100% agree, but I just thought it was hilarious. Like,
yeah, I'm not.
the, he was like, he comes to me and asks me if it's legal, and we're like, dude, like, that's really not like what we're doing here. Like, we offer
Yeah.
legal services, but we're not going to tell you
Oh,
if
there's
that's
nothing
legal or not.
illegal. I don't think there's anything illegal about it. The only
It's
thing
yeah,
is the only thing that you have to be concerned about is one person. Like if I understand correctly, and this is one of the issues with runners, people in the chat would know better than me. I'm not a legal expert. This is not legal advice. But you have to be concerned about when you have someone else placing a bet on your behalf. So if they're feeding information back to you and you're placing the bet, I don't know, might be fine. But the sport books aren't going to allow it. They're going to see you with 10 grand and
yeah,
flipping all these like they're going to
undefeated in home run picks of $10,000.
yeah, they're going to yeah, unless you're
Throw a couple
uh
$1,000 losers
yeah,
in
you're
there on
laying down
purpose.
some decoy bets, which happens. You know, the sharps do that. They throw down decoy bets to keep the ratios in whack so they don't get limited or banned. Because
I remember
you gotta get your ends down.
guys used to back in, the early DFS days, like, that last, like, week leading up to the new year, like, they would just, like they would just, like, tank all their teams, like, for tax, like, "We need to offset these, like, taxes a little bit." So they just have, like, a week
Yeah.
of trash losers.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never quite understood that philosophy. Like even even like when you're in the stock market and you're like selling losses, like yeah, if you're doing a little bit of tax harvesting to like
Yeah.
you know you're going to sell them anyway, so you sell them right before the end of the year. But to just intentionally lose at the end of the year to like get you in a lower tax bracket, I guess it makes sense.
Yeah,
You're doing
for
some,
reference, I never did that. I never did that. I just know of people that did that.
yeah. No, I just I always think it's funny because like if you're paying tax, you're winning.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard enough to win as it is in that
Yes.
space. Definitely.
Um. Okay, we got your team up front. What are you thinking
Yeah,
of your
we need
bats?
to find some pitchers, man, is what I
Okay,
need to
let's go to
find.
pitchers. Let's
I
move
gotta
on
get
from.
something here.
So it's funny that you mentioned Shane Bieber is getting traded. I traded this week. Um, I traded Brandon Nemo and Matt Olson for Hunter Green in a keeper league. And Shane Bieber was one of the other pitchers that was offered. And I didn't pick him because when I went and looked back and looked, and he just kind of every second year seems to have a good year and an off year. And then coming off of injury, his age, I was like, I don't know. I don't know if he's going to come back and be the same pitcher. What are your thoughts on Bieber?
It's tough to say because I thought he was going to have a monster season last year, and he looked great his first couple of times before he got hurt. And it's just been a long road back. Like he's been hurt a lot. It's a long road back. He even got hurt when he first started coming back, this year to the rehab assignments. So I don't know. I think it's a worthy gamble if you're a good team to just try and pick him up and hopefully he can contribute for you. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I would say it's 50-50. But if you're a good team and you can get him at a relatively inexpensive cost, I think it's a worthy gamble for sure. I don't know like what teams. I didn't get any teams. Nobody told me any teams that are looking for him. I want to see if there's like
Something on the wire.
yeah, if there was any like reports, I
Oh,
guess.
sorry, my allergies are bothering me today.
Yankees, interesting. Well, I mean, it's tough to look at these like trade lists because it's always just Dodgers, Yankees.
Yeah.
They're just in on
Also
everyone.
wonder
But
who puts them together. I'm like, is this a wish list from the fan base? And there's just more fans in this. This it's the same
yeah,
thing in all the sports. You're like,
so
are you kidding me? Yeah.
he threw 4 innings last night at Double A and was fine. So
Yeah.
this we're talking about like this is someone that could contribute to a playoff run, most
Yeah.
definitely. I would like to see him go to the Red Sox, man.
as a Jays
Not
fan,
for you.
no,
Yeah, not for
no,
you, but
yeah.
that's somewhere that I could
I'm not going to go
see
to
like
like the
him fitting.
Padres or somewhere really
Cubs, I
far
could see
away.
fitting. That'd be a good punch back from the Cubs. Like, okay,
Yes, I
we'll
actually
go
think
get
that would be
Shane
a
Bieber
great
then.
one. Yeah. And they like because they've got what's his name? Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson. I was his Ben Brown. Ben
Ben
Brown.
Brown, Ben Johnson is the Chicago Bears coach.
Yeah, Ben
Great
Johnson,
city,
Chicago, or
great.
former Canadian sprinter who was busted for PEDs and lost his medal.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, you can look that one up. He was the scapegoat. He was like the start of when everyone started getting busted. And like they did an interview with him afterwards, and he was like, I don't know why I got busted. Everyone was doing it. It's
That's
like it's
always
because
the
you won the gold
excuse.
medal.
That's always the excuse with these like those sports like that,
Yeah,
sprinting and like bike riding, Lance Armstrong
yeah.
and all that stuff.
I'm sure if you went in the locker room, they're all like the needles are all out, and
Well,
they all don't think they're gonna
hey,
get caught.
Jeff Teague came in with that hot report last week about LeBron getting on HGH. So
Oh, uh-oh.
yeah, Jeff Teague came
Debo.
in with that.
He's gonna have to go
LeBron,
through a
LeBron,
cycle.
LeBron. He said that. I don't remember exactly what he said. It was like one of those times where LeBron like disappear. You know when he did that like disappear, he'll like be gone
Yeah.
for like a week or two during the season. He said Jeff Teague was saying like he knew he was gonna get tested or something, so he took like a leave of absence. He's like disappeared and then came back and he was like skinny.
Yeah. Yeah. I heard that Tiger Woods did that years ago as well. They like introduced drug
Oh,
testing and then DJ got pinched. But like Tiger, and I'm sure that because having seen the documentary and you see Tiger's body now, I'm sure this is not true.
yeah, yeah.
But he then had his knee injury and was conveniently injured during the initial drug testing period.
I know this is off topic, but these is like such good conversations. What would your opinion be on that? Like if it came out like Tiger was using HGH for like his entire career, like would that like taint your image of Tiger Woods or LeBron James since that was wrote the report? Like would that taint anything for you?
I I think if you are like the best of the best, and then we find out like Lance Armstrong that you've been cheating the whole time, it it is has in my mind more degrading and more impactful and more disappointing than if it was a really good player that was like even Barry Bonds. Okay, whatever. There was a few of them at that time. They were really good, kind of competing with each other. But like Lance Armstrong, it was like, okay, Lance, are you kidding me? Like you go
Well,
on
especially
and
because
have
he's
this
got the Live Strong bracelet and all that stuff. You
exactly
know,
and this
it's
pretty boy
almost like
life and find
yeah.
out you're just a cheater. So if Tiger did it, it would be disappointing. Um, if LeBron did it, it'd be really disappointing because these guys they're not even generational. They're like centurion talents. Um, and I know
Yeah.
we talked about Scotty Scheffler being, potentially as good as Tiger's his peak, but it would just be so disappointing.
It would It would definitely impact LeBron, I think, because I think a lot of people that make those arguments for LeBron James, it's the longevity stats that hold him up, most points ever in NBA history and all the playoff accolades and stuff that he has because he's played so many games. And obviously, the use of that would have impacted him being able to play that many games for that long of a period. So I do think it would be very impactful to LeBron.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think I remember when Tiger, when he first was involved with his marital issues, and I like just the
Mhm.
hoopla and the uncertainty around that, and it was like what was going on, and it burst his pretty boy image. And it was disappointing. Like that definitely changed the way the world saw him. He went and did the press conference. Nike dropped him. Like
Mhm.
it had a major impact. And all he was doing was hanging out at Applebee's. Um, so I don't know what a little bit of HGH that would be. I think that would be bad.
Tiger was like we knew he was going to be the best golfer though. Like he was a skinny little kid
Yeah.
and kicked people's asses. So I don't know. Like I'm not saying it wouldn't impact him. It would, but like I think it would be more impactful to LeBron than it would be like
I agree with that, because
to
especially
Messi.
when it's like who's better, MJ or
Yeah,
LeBron, and it's like now it'd be Michael
that would
Jordan
just
is
be
way
like, oh
better.
yeah, yeah, definitely. All right, as far as
Uh,
these pitchers go, though, I need somebody.
well, but I think there's some options here. We talked
No, there
about
is. Yeah,
Premier.
we talked about it. Yeah. I'm still trying to book him for the stream, by the way.
Yes, Dean Kremer. We got to get him on. I think Colin Ray, he's very serviceable, but he
Yeah, he's
also
been
would be a good
solid.
arm in Chicago. Get that Shane Bieber into Chicago. Get him on the north side. Like, I think you've got some options here.
Bailey Falter, he had a decent little what did
Yeah.
he do last night? He had a good little outing last night, I think.
I think that we need to get you maybe re-energized.
Oh no, he didn't. He only had one strikeout. I retract.
But
He
he's
doesn't
got
get any
7
Ks, but he's
wins.
7-5 with
Yeah.
a 3.73 ERA,
Good whip.
118
Like,
WHIP. Yeah, honestly,
yeah.
wow, Chino Hill's kid here. He might know the Ball brothers. Interesting. LeVar Ball might be a Bailey Falter fan. I don't know. I might have to investigate that.
But I think you got some options here.
I might pick up Bailey Falter. I'm not gonna lie, and then Dean Kremer might be a pickup.
Dean Kremer. I think that's a good one, especially since they're on the turnaround right now.
Yeah,
But
they
Colin
are.
Ray's not a bad one.
They
Why are
are.
you hating on Colin Ray?
No, I like Colin Ray's solid.
Whip's a little high. Sorry, because he doesn't have that many strikeouts.
Yeah, better whip though for Mr. Falter there. He's got the best one on the board.
Here's one of the things I love doing on this is actually not gonna work. I did that wrong. So I'll come in here and I'll say, okay, I've got my kind of top ranking of pitchers. Let's get down to the bottom here and we'll say let's pick about halfway. Let's go. Tyler Holt is the lowest. So then I'll put in a minimum of 2.039. So it's only going to include everybody that's above 2.039. And then come in and filter based on the category I'm struggling in. So I'm going to go the other way with this one. So here's your low ERA guys. So these guys are all non-starters. Where's the first starter? Jose Quintana. Old man Jose. Clark Schmidt. He's injured. Yeah. He knows how to keep that ERA down. Griffin Canning. Not a bad one. You got Bailey in there too. Bailey's in there, so he's part of that low group. So yeah, not a bad option. Or if I'm looking at strikeouts, I'm like, hey, I need someone who's like high strikeout. That's our boy Dean. Banished Luis. Ryan Gusto. Okay, the Gustinator. He's been not too shabby. I had him for a little bit. Logan Allen, I keep picking him up in my other league. He keeps disappointing me, but his numbers aren't terrible.
He's okay.
I think you've got some options here.
Yeah.
Definitely better than some of the guys you have on your team.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to hit the wire and just see if we can get a little August resurgence coming our way.
Because it's tight in that middle pack. You might be able to. We're way too out to win, but
yeah, but a couple points here or there, you could rocket it up a couple more spots.
Yeah, exactly. Where are we at in the standings here? And I'm hunting you down.
Yeah, you are. You may pass me up after all these weeks of.
I did drop 2.5 points, but so last week I forgot to set my lineup. I think I mentioned that. Hurt me. I had 2 guys out of the lineup.
Yeah.
Hurt me a lot. 2 bats, and then my pitchers weren't great last week. But we've had a meeting, got together, got the boys together.
Clubhouse meeting.
We're gonna have a solid August here.
Michael King too. Maybe he
Come
might be
back.
due for a rehab start this weekend, I heard. So
Yeah.
maybe Michael King's on the comeback here. Get him and Dean Cremier in there. We might salvage this season a little bit.
But I look at this, like, we're not getting up here.
No.
These are the
Our
three
guy from
guys who are going to
USA
win.
Today just completely dominated this league.
Yeah.
But this is his wheelhouse from what he was telling me. Like he plays rotisserie baseball. Like this is like right in that
Yeah.
wheelhouse for him.
Well, the other thing too that is interesting about him, and this is always interesting to me, is who's the most active. And that guy
Yeah, he
is
makes some moves here.
he is just wheeling and dealing the bottom of his lineup at all times.
Yeah.
I would also love to know how much money he has left. Because he's always putting in 9, 15.
Yeah.
It's an interesting one. I wonder if they knew he's going to end up a Toronto Blue Jay. Are you like putting in your waiver wire picks as we speak?
I am, yes. We're
I like it.
locking these in live on the stream. We have some new blood coming into the
How
lineup.
many dollars are you putting down? Like, what is your strategy for late in the season usage of your
I'm
bank?
just because I have some money. Like no one else is like has money at this point. You know, a lot of people. So I'm just putting in modest kind of bids, and I
A
think I'll
little.
get them.
You don't want to put it in the live stream to.
How much? Yeah, how much should I buy? If you have a suggestion.
No, I think at this stage you can literally put $1 in. Like you're gonna.
Yeah, I no, I agree. I agree.
There's only like 12 people going on the waiver wire
Hmm.
on the auction portion of the waiver wire. There's a lot of people picking up the Mike's Morning for free.
But it's almost like the season's coming to an end. It's like I have this money. Like I might as well just like drop
No,
in
I
like
agree.
a 50 bomber, and people will be like, "Whoa, $50 on Dean
Yeah,
Cremier? Why?"
they'll Dean, they'll get it. They'll get it. Others, they might question it. But who do I have on the how do I see these?
I think yeah, there you go. You have 490 left.
Yeah. Nathan Lukes. If the Quanner ends up
Yeah,
in TO, Lukes is out. It'll be a waste of $51.
it will be.
But Trevor's really fallen off here. I had high hopes for him.
Yeah, he's been struggling. He has
He's
been.
really struggling. So he's out. He's out. But on my team, maybe we'll just do a quick look at my bats really quickly because I want to point out one thing. I've talked about it quite a bit in the past. I haven't been playing. I benched Willie. He's deeper about that. He's rising on up.
Yeah, he hit a home run last night, I think, again.
He did. I don't have him in the lineup.
Every time we come on this stream, like you come on, we're talking about him hitting a home run. He must hit an insane amount of home runs on like Tuesdays.
He
Because it's been the
must.
last few times I've been like, dude, he just hit a home run.
Yeah. And he's like actually earning his way into a spot on the team now because he's hunting down Geraldo. And Geraldo's not playing great now, but he's still got those stolen bases, which he got at the start of the season. So next week I'm swapping Willie and Geraldo. He's out. And the other guy that's just killing me is your boy Royce Lewis. What is going on with that guy?
Well, when you said Larnack's been struggling, I was gonna say, yeah, there's a couple twins have been struggling there.
Like, what's going on here? Like
I
he's
don't
back,
know.
he seems healthy, he looks spry, and then he just sucks.
At Buxton, he got hurt as well. He's on the injured list now. Twins are not in a good place right now.
No. Do you think Joe Ryan gets traded?
I would say 50-50. I think like Eugenio Suarez lock to get traded. Bieber, from what I heard, lock. Quan most likely. Joe Ryan, I'd say 50-50. I don't know where Suarez is going to go. It's interesting. I could see him.
I've got him in my other league. So
I
here's a
want him to
tactic
go to
that,
the Mariners, like, because they just traded for Josh Naylor. Like, I want them to get him too.
yeah, I mean, that would be a good bet. So this is a tactic for everyone at home. Since my team is not doing great in my one competitive league, and I know I'm not going to make the playoffs, I have been putting up a price list in our WhatsApp group of all the guys.
Mhm.
And Suarez is one of my top players, so I've got him out for a first round draft pick. But this price list tactic has worked like a charm. Just to set it, then it's created all these conversations, and I just every day as we head towards the trade deadline, I just update the price list and post it in the WhatsApp group. It's the smartest thing I've ever done.
Yeah, that's a good idea. All right. We're at 12:30. Thank you guys for tuning in. Tomorrow, if you guys joined late or whatever, afternoon stream, we're gonna test an afternoon stream time and check out the viewership in comparison to this hour. And we are gonna talk Hall of Fame game. I'll give you the full rundown, all the players, who's playing, who's not, fantasy plays, all that good stuff. We'll be talking about tomorrow. Next weekend, Fantasy Football Expo. If any of you are attending, come up, say hi at our booth. We're giving away a jersey at our booth as well, Steve. That will be there. But
Yep.
yeah, make
Mine's gonna
sure
order it.
if you're at the Fantasy Football Expo, come say hi. With that being said, have a good day. Good luck tonight if you're playing fantasy sports or betting or any of that. Steve, any last words?
Just if you guys need any data, you know where to come. We're here for you. We're here to serve
Yes.
your data
Yes.
needs.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in
Thanks, everybody.
tomorrow afternoon. We'll see you then.
Later, everybody.